Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday today, so it's our long run. I haven't really checked in since I was in North Carolina, and the rest of the trip went pretty well. Not too much running. I showed you just a 2.5 mile run that I went on while I was there, and then honestly I was only there for 2 full days, so I was already back home. The foot is feeling a lot better, luckily. We've been resting it for the last 2 weeks or so. Everything kind of came around. There's still a little soreness here and there, but I've just been doing a lot of calf stretches, I found a dog toy that I had just laying around for Frankie and Charlie. It's just a hard ball that I was kind of rolling out different spots of my foot, and I found a couple of knots that I think may have been part of the cause of why some things were hurting. So I still don't know which shoes caused it. I'm thinking maybe it might even be a pair of like flip-flop or slides that I wear when I walk the dog. So that could be it, and it's unfortunate that it happened, but it's definitely feeling better now. So I think overall, even with the break, I just take those small victories that I have. Like I went for a 4-mile run on Friday, and I gotta say, if I look at like my heart rate and how fast I was able to run, how comfortable it felt, things are still progressing. So I'm going to look at the positive side and still try and focus on, progress that I've made over the last couple of weeks and last couple of months as we started to kick into the training for the marathon. So we'll continue today. It's a 19-mile run. I'm going to do something different today for 2 reasons. One, because I don't know if for any reason now this is the first long run that I've been on since my foot was bothering me. So if at any point my foot does really start to bother me, I want to be able to get back to the car without being 10 miles away from where I started. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth. I'm going to run on the same trail as usual, but I'm going to start where the car is, go about 2.5 miles out, then 2.5 miles back, and then go in the other direction, 2.5 miles out, 2.5 miles back. And that way, every 5-mile loop, essentially, I'm back at the car, and I'm also never more than 2.5 miles away from where I started if I have to stop and go home or anything. The second reason that I'm doing this is, frankly, I'm tired of carrying the big water backpack that I have. So rather than frustrate myself with the backpack, I'm just going to come up with a new solution. And I just brought, 2 different waters. I'm just going to do a little circuit. So I'll leave the stuff. I have gels with me as well. I'll leave them at the car. At each 5-mile loop, I'll stop, have some water really quickly, have a gel, and then continue out the other side. And then I'll be able to stop 3 different times throughout the 19-mile run where I can just have water, from a bottle. I don't have to carry it with me. I just want to be able to be out there on the road without anything in my hands or, attached to my back. So that's the plan for today. That's my solution, just to kind of get over that, I guess, little bit of aggravation that's building up from carrying the backpack all the time. While we're driving, yesterday we had a nice day. We actually but Megan and I visited this place, Buttermilk Falls. It's actually where Megan and I got married, and we happen to just live, pretty close to it at this point right now. And it's in Milton, New York. It's this really nice little spot, kind of in a rural area, and there just happens to be this bed and breakfast with like a spa and a farm, and it's just a really nice place to walk around. It is a nice place to stay if you can. They have very good food. So we had dinner there. I actually won a photo contest on Instagram, so I had a $50 gift card to use, and that's part of the reason why we had just kind of gone back to have dinner. But the grounds are very nice. It's a good place to just kind of explore. You can see the Hudson River. They have their own little waterfall, and just, tons of plants and grass and stuff, just to have a relaxing day outside. So if you're ever, up, an hour out of the city, up north, or out in New York City, north in Westchester or Dutchess County, check it out. It's a good place to go for dinner, a good place just to hang out and have a good time, go on a date, something like that, or go to the spa as well, because they do have the spa. So it was very nice to do that. Walked around a lot, just went down, there's a couple little trails and things like that. So it was pretty interesting. And just again a good day, because it was really nice weather, good day to get outside, and that's what we decided to do. So very happy with yesterday. It was a good way to just kind of keep the legs loose. I'm somebody who likes to continue walking around after training, even after long runs.
Last one, 5 miles done.
This will be your last call. 20 minutes, you're done being alone. This will be your last call. 20 minutes, you're done being alone. This will be your last call. 20 minutes, you're done being alone.
Alright, so obviously that was the end of lap 3, and you see we're on the road. I got through 14 miles as planned, and then I just felt like at that point my foot was starting to hurt just a little bit, so I just felt like it was better to play it safe than sorry. My body was also overall just a little bit sore, tired. 14 miles or going over 14 miles I think is a lot. Just coming off of the last 2 weeks where I wasn't really running, so I was going to go for it. I was willing to go for the 19 miles, but I think all the signals just said, to cut it at 14, and to get that training in, and then, stay healthy enough to continue on another day. So that was supposed to be our 19-mile run, and we do have 3 20-mile runs scheduled in this particular training block. So what I think I'm going to do is just after this weekend, where we now have 14, we're just kind of going to quickly bump back up through the mileage for our long runs. So as far as next weekend, I think I'll go for an 18-mile run. So that'll be, a kind of a quick increase from where we are right now at 14, but we've already done a 17-mile run in this training block. So again, just kind of taking some big steps to get back to where I was. So we'll do 18, and then I'll still have 2 20-mile runs in this training block to hopefully, continue to train and get to where I want to be, with my loose goals of just kind of staying under 4 hours for this particular New York City marathon. Again, the A goal would be about 350, but we'll see how that goes. Obviously, we've had a couple setbacks with the plantar fasciitis. So overall, we've said it, several times now over the last week, training is just a little bit behind, but at the same time, it was a pretty aggressive training plan as far as the mileage, to have 3 20-mile runs, to, have a 19-mile run before the 3 20-mile runs. That's a lot of mileage, at the peak. So I think I'm still comfortable with doing 2 20-mile runs, using the next weekend to just get back up slowly, 18 miles. That way I'm actually prepared for the 20-mile run, because obviously even today, like the 19 miles after some time off, just didn't feel like the right thing to do once I was out there. It was also more humid than I thought, so maybe my strategy of just having water in the car every 5 miles was a little bit too little for myself. It actually, I'm looking at the thermometer right now, it does say 79, and it might have been a little bit humid today, more than I thought. We had a very cool week before, so I kind of thought I was free and clear of more of the heat, but I definitely didn't want to bring that water backpack, so that's kind of what drove my decision. And again, it probably would have been fine if we were, continuing through the training block as we expected, and we're not going to, or didn't have to take some time off, and then just to jump back to my 19 miles was a little bit much today. So overall, I'm still happy. I mean, like I said, my foot really, zero pain through the entire run up until just that last mile or so. I just started to feel a little bit of something. So again, I just didn't want to push it to the point where it was really hurting, even if that was 3 miles later, because then that would, again, set me back for the next week. And that's the last thing I want to do right now. So 14 miles still in the books, still good. Nice to get that done again. Nice to feel comfortable with that, with my foot and knees and everything especially. It's just a good sign that it'll get better from here, hopefully. So on our way home, we'll shower up and then just kind of clean a little bit and get ready for my dad to come. So we'll see what else we have in store when they get here.